morning. Welcome to your midweek show, Inside Nigeria is reaching your leadership television. My name is Winifred Gogo, and sure feels good to be hosting you on to this edition of the program. And as you can see, I have with me in the studio my midweek guest, every Wednesday tonic. He's a triple chief, he's a public affairs analyst, a TV host, and a syndicated columnist. Jide Ojo. It's good to
Thank you.
have you into the program.
It's
It's
a
been a long
pleasure.
while, it's up to a month now.
Yeah, we have to survive. You people are not
Sounds
paying
like
me, so I have to go fund me.
no
Go
problem.
fund myself.
No money as well. It's good to have you back.
My pleasure.
First, let's just see what the newspaper headlines are saying this Wednesday, July 12th, 2023, starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership is leading with a story on Northern Southeast governors move to tackle insecurity. Northern Southeast governors move to tackle insecurity. Tinubu gives service chiefs marching orders on plateau killings. Reps one state of emergency declared in Plateau, Sokoto. Northern Southeast governors move to tackle insecurity. Tinubu gives service chiefs marching orders on plateau killings. Reps one state of emergency declared in Plateau, Sokoto. Of course, on the cover of Leadership, we have a picture of the special advisor to the government of Borno State on humanitarian affairs, Mero Mandara. We have Pakistani women's education activist, Malala Yousafzai. And we have UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed and Borno State Governor's wife, Famatu Zulum, during the visit of the UN scribe to the government house in Maiduguri, Borno State yesterday. This is such a surprise. Of course, we have this caliber of women in the country, and nothing was heard about it. Anyway, still on Leadership newspaper, we have PDP governors demand INEC's neutrality in Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo polls. Angora policy tax CBN on taming rising inflation. Government adopts Catholic priest reorders in Ebonyi. Kano Anti-Graft Agency partisan CSOs allege. Stop excess charges, illegal deductions, reps tell commercial banks. Jais Bank appoints Bin Today board chairman. Forbes names Dangote Africa's richest for 12th time. From Leadership, we move over to the Nation. The Nation says Senate to probe 9.3 trillion naira spent on petrol subsidy in 30 months. Senate to probe 9.33 trillion naira spent on petrol subsidy in 30 months. NNPCL spent 400 billion monthly. Oil giant soon to go public. Adamu's incapacitation talk sparks row over Akeredolu. Adamu's incapacitation talk sparks row over Akeredolu. Yesterday, it was in the news when the APC national chairman said that Akeredolu, that is the Ondo State governor, was incapacitated. Of course, we also have the same picture gracing the cover of the Nation newspaper, picture of UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed and Malala Yusuf. From that, we move over above the Nation. We have intercepted vessel destroyed in Delta with 150,000 MTS of crude worth $86.8 million. Above the masthead, okay, we have VAT likely to go up. Naira says at 788 naira per dollar in official parallel markets. Above the masthead, border reopening plan in progress, says Customs CG. Tinubu sad over Plateau Benue killings, go after masterminds. Mustapha Bintube is Jais Bank board chairman. How Wike helped Tinubu to win Rivers by Okocha. From the Nation, we move over to Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says PDP governors, APC differ over security situation nationwide. PDP governors, APC differ over security situation nationwide. Insecurity worsening nationwide, PDP governors. Tinubu's government tackling issue. We ensure peace, APC. 4 policemen killed in Zamfara bandits attack. Gunmen kidnap Catholic priest, 3 others in Ebonyi. Simon Ekpa reacts to Southeast leaders Abuja meeting, orders 2 weeks sit at home. asking residents to sit at home for 2 weeks slap on Nigeria police, AIG zone 9. Disregard EPA, IPOB. Enugu residents count losses, say we can't cope anymore. That's the leading story on Vanguard newspaper. And of course, we also have seen that picture on the cover of the Vanguard. Reps ask federal government to lift ban on fuel sale in international borders. Not all land borders are opened, acting customs CG. Affirm seizures of smuggled fuel. NNPCL no longer writes rules for petroleum industry, says Kyari. NAFDAC warns public against consumption of artificially ripened fruits. Stories on page 9 of the newspaper. And above the masthead, we have investors gain 1.93 trillion naira in 2 days as stock market hits 15-year high. Why we invested in First Bank, Honeywell Group speaks about 15% stake in FBNH. Benue killings not perpetrated by outsiders, Governor Elia. Tinubu expresses sadness over Plateau killings. PDP suffers setback as Akpabio names chairman for special committees. For more stories on Vanguard, log on to the website www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, we move over to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says Senate on fuel subsidy, 9.3 trillion naira spent in 30 months to probe under recovery. Senate on fuel subsidy, 9.3 trillion naira spent in 30 months to probe under recovery. 6 functional refineries, living wage for workers. Reps want ban on sale of petrol in border communities lifted. Fubara procures 17 free buses for Rivers residents. Akpabio unveils Senate Akpabio unveils Senate committees, names Adiola Wadada others chairman. Nigeria can fight corruption to stand still, Badu EFCC. Plateau, stop this cycle of violence, Tinubu orders security chiefs. 2023 polls, poor deployment casts doubts on accuracy of EU reports. CISLAC deploys 190 observers to 15 states. IRI sends 50 to 10 states. Action aids 700 to 17 states. Yaga 469 to Kano's 11,222 PUS. From that, we move over above the stories just beneath the masthead. FBNH Itosu, Otudeko's unsettled 3.5 billion naira EcoBank loan raises fresh concerns. Wike work for Tinubu's victory in Rivers, not Amechi nor Abi Okocha. That's all we can take on Blueprint newspapers. For more stories, log on to the website www.blueprint.ng. For Blueprint, we are looking at The Guardian. The Guardian says Akpabio, 13 senators to earn over 5.6 billion naira as governor's pension benefits. Akpabio, 13 senators to earn over 5.6 billion naira as governor's pension benefits. Story is on page 6 of The Guardian. Of course, it's an investigation story carried out by the paper. Hotel staff to die by hanging for killing manager, UK returnee. Separating empowerment projects from first ladies' vanities. That's the news analysis from The Guardian. FMDQ introduces exchange traded derivatives market. Tinubu breaks silence, orders arrest of Plateau Benue killings masterminds. Reps tackle banks over illegal deductions, indiscriminate charges. Coalition seeks Rimi Gado sack, revisit of 2006 report on Kwankwaso. For more stories on The Guardian, log on to the website www.guardian.ng. We have THISDAY newspaper. Next on our menu, THISDAY says Tinubu festering reprisal attacks in Plateau, Benue depressing, avoidable. Tinubu festering reprisal attacks in Plateau, Benue depressing, avoidable. Order security agencies to fish up perpetrators of recent killings. Says suspects must face full wrath of law. One circle of violence dismantled. House asks IG NSA to declare national emergency. Benin governor proposes amnesty for repentant criminals. Traditional ruler narrates gruesome killing of 30 people. Enugu Cardinal governor seek military assistance to tackle insecurity. Because we have groundbreaking ceremony of 30 megawatts embedded independent power plants. That's the picture on this day of Echo Disco. We have above the leading story still on this day newspaper. Abdullahi Adamu, I supported Lawan but won election for Tinubu. Still says APC willing to receive Wike led G5. Abdullahi Adamu, that is the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC. I supported Lawan but won election for Tinubu. Says APC willing to receive Wike led G5. Ribadu, federal government committed to building capacity of investigators to enhance anti-corruption work. Stories on page 8 of this day. And above the masthead, we have Kyari. NNPC may divest selected assets, exit production sharing agreements. And above that, we have Honeywell Group confident of value generation in FBN Holdings increases stake to 15.1%. For more stories on this day, log on to the website www.thisdaylive.com. We move over to the Daily Sun. Daily Sun says House of Reps stop CBN universities. House of Reps stop CBN universities. Says no to Apex Bank social media KYC policy. Varsities, Unity schools tuition fees hike. Parallel market aggregator Aboki Foreign Exchange raises exchange rates to 800 naira per dollar. Anger ten sion in southeast as Ekpa declares 2 week sit at home from July 31st. Peace group asks Finland to repatriate him. Other IPOB members abducted Reverend Father, 3 others freed in Ebonyi. NNPCL gearing up for IPO Kyari seeks support to tackle insecurity, inadequate funding. Insecurity, Southeast governors to meet Tinubu. Subsidy removal while we are here to resume petrol imports. Oil marketers warn 7.5% VAT on diesel will inflict more hardship. Forbes 2023 index, Dangote still Africa's richest for 12th consecutive year. Listed among world's top 200 richest persons. And of course, we have Senate standing committees, Akpabio's noms ex-governors, PDP ranking senators, names heads of appropriations, public account six committees. Benue Access Recovery Committee storms Autumn's house, casts away exotic cars. Stories on page 26 of Daily Sun. And just beside the masthead, we have Tinubu charges security chiefs to fish out perpetrators of Plateau killings. Lawmakers ask ONCSA to declare killings national emergency. That's all we can take on Daily Sun. For more stories, log on to the website www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, let's see what Nigerian Tribune is saying this morning. Let's have Nigerian Tribune on our screen. Nigerian Tribune says Tinubu Plateau's cycle of violence must be broken. Tinubu Plateau's cycle of violence must be broken. Others manhunt for killers. We'll get to root of insecurity in our region, says northern governors. Tinubu Plateau's cycle of violence must be broken. Others manhunt for killers. We will get to root of insecurity in our region, northern governors. Reps to CBN stop banks from deducting I can see that. NDLEA orders Akpabio constitutes standing committees. Adiola heads appropriation committee. Adamodu media. And another story we have is not all land borders are open. Acting customs DG affirms seizures of smuggled fuel. And about the masthead of Nigerian Tribune, we have how Global Consortium became First Bank's largest shareholders. Senate to probe NNPCL subsidy regime. Kicks against 3.3 trillion naira 9.3 trillion naira expenditure. Security expenditure set ablaze vessel. Security agencies set ablaze vessel intercepted with stolen oil. So that's all we can take on Nigerian Tribune today. For more stories, just log on to the website of Nigerian Tribune for more stories. And just before we go, we have the last paper on our menu, and that is the Punch newspaper. The Punch says Naira devaluation. Nigerian students face tough times in UK. Tuition soars by 60%. Naira devaluation. Nigerian students face tough times in UK. Tuition soars by 60%. New forest rate threatens overseas students. Indebted scholars barred from classes. Parents beg federal government for concession as tuition. Living costs climb amid forest crisis. Police kill sit-at-home enforcers. IPOB declares 14-day lockdown. Panel stops automobile workshop. Impounds vehicles. FMDQ Exchange launches derivatives market. And above the masthead of the Punch, we have SEC investigates Otudeko's FBN share acquisition. SEC investigates Otudeko's First Bank of Nigeria's share acquisition. PDP governors demand credible polls in Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi. APC crisis deepens as Omisore labels Lukman black sheep. For more stories on the Punch, log on to the website www.punchng.com. Well, viewers, this is where we end the first segment of the paper review. On the second segment, we are going to be having discussion on some news headlines with our guest in the studio, Video Joe. Don't go away, just stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. The program is Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. Just this is second segment of the show where we discuss some leading stories on today's headlines. And of course, we are looking at the one on Blueprint newspaper. Senate on fuel subsidy. 9.3 trillion naira spent in 30 months. 30 months is 2.5 years.
Yes, exactly.
To probe under recovery. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, across many of the newspapers, that was the leading story.
Yes.
Even The Nation,
Yes.
and quite a number of others. So again, it's about accountability and transparency. Many Nigerians forgot that about 2017, 2016 budget, 2017 budget. Under Buhari, they claimed that subsidy has been removed.
Yes, they were calling it under recovery.
No, wait, they said the subsidy has been removed because there were no budgetary provision for payment of subsidy. But later we got to know that NMPC, then now known as NMPC, claimed to be paying what they call under recovery. And this was money not budgeted for. And you keep saying, government-owned enterprises are spending their operating surplus, they are not remitting. When you have this kind of loopholes, where money is not budgeted for and billions and trillions are being paid without National Assembly approval, now the chicken has come home to roost. We said we are told now that they want to do probe of the last 2.5 years of Buhari administration. The question is, we have National Assembly committees that were supposed to oversight these spendings.
Yes.
The Ministry of Finance, the CBN, and several other agencies. There are supposed to be audit reports, Auditor General's report, and all of that. But you see, the more we have these layers of bureaucracy that are supposed to oversight this kind of spending, the more opaque the system seems to be. And now we are doing post-mortem instead of doing preventive. How did we manage to spend 9.3 trillion, not billion? Trillion that means in 2018, that means in 2020, in fact, it could have even been that. That means it's 2021, 2022, and first half of 2023. So in 2.5 years, 2021, 2022, and first half of 2023, we have spent 9.3 trillion. This is why I've always said I will not support fuel subsidy. It's a scam. If we see, Winifred, Dangote built a brand new refinery complex in Lagos in 5 years with $18.5 million. If you do conversion, what you have spent, this 9.3
is enough to build us
a brand new, even if it's one world class. But our cartel, the cabal prefer to be paying this opaque subsidy because few of them are profiting from it. And that's why I will not support any continued payment of. How can they told us that in 2023 that we have 3.5 trillion budgeted for fuel. And I mean, when you say fuel subsidy, let me break it down for our viewer. They are saying petrol, not petroleum products, not jet A1, not kerosene, not diesel, not lubricants, not any other thing. Just one item out of the value chain, the entire petroleum products. Only petrol is being subsidized, and we said we budgeted 3.5 trillion, not million. 3.5 trillion is almost equal to what we are spending in this 2023 on our capital project, capex, on our capital expenditure. What we are spending to subsidize one product is almost maybe half of what we spent on our capital expenditure framework. So how can that be sustainable? And that's why we are saying, I don't know what will come out of this probe, because like I said, it's post-mortem.
At the end of the day, does anything ever come out of this probe?
We have had this probe. Don't forget, this is where the case of Farouk Lawal.
Yes.
I think that was the last time there was a probe of this thing. What came out of that?
Nothing came out of that.
It was discredited. At the end of the day, the members used it as opportunity to also.
Those doing the probe also became enmeshed in the same
we caught their hands in the cookie jar. So Nigerians are not impressed. I was involved in the training of state lawmakers in about 12 states, doing induction workshop for them, and I used this issue of probes as example. The Nigerians are not impressed with your probes. They are not impressed with your oversight. They are impressed with the output. What are the outcomes? Okay, all these things, you spent another billions to do the probe. At the end of the day, we will not see the report. We will not see people punished. So it becomes business as usual. Meanwhile, you will have earmarked maybe 2 billion. It's like the constitutional alteration. Each of the chamber of the National Assembly was earmarking 1 billion naira each annually for that exercise.
Yes.
So these are issues. For me, yes, it's within their constitutional right to look at issues in retrospect, because this one, now, I doubt if we are going to make any headway. The people who are involved, our former president was the substantive minister of petroleum.
Exactly.
Will you
not call me to come?
No, even if you do, I know the sentiment. You understand? Will you call a President Buhari to come and explain to you how this whole thing came about? And the northern elite will not say, "Oh, did you call Obasanjo? Did you call Buhari? Did you call Goodluck Jonathan? Why is it Buhari you are calling?" Because we believe. Look at the case of Mesoma, Ejikeme, just because of fraud over exam fraud, it became ethnicized. The Igbos elite style say, "Oh, it's because he's one of us. It's because it's our daughter." They didn't even look at the acts. People were already defending her. "Oh, she's too innocent to do that. She cannot afford to do that. She doesn't have the brain to do that." But at the end of the day, did she not admit that she did that unaided? True or false? At least, whether she did it alone, whether she did it in connivance with others, she admitted eventually when there were out cold facts against her, she admitted. Now, this whole thing now,
go and bring that you brought it up. The one that really picked me is the one that she even went to go and do video to support her claim.
Yes,
that
sir.
something like that. To
That she was
to
traumatized.
say jump. Like, where did she get it from?
There was even those who said she's 16. There's another one that says she's 18
19.
and 19. Whatever it is, what I'm
But
saying,
however,
in
9.3
reference to
trillion
this,
naira.
let's not forget, this is our main issue of discussion.
Yes.
The point is, will anybody in the National Assembly invite Buhari to come and give evidence? And it will not be ethnicized.
So in other words, it's just an exercise in futility.
It's an exercise in futility. Because now they are already jostling for leadership committee position. So somebody was the chairman of downstream, upstream, midstream, all of that. Why did their oversight not show that this thing cannot stand reason and logic and prevent? But when they go on some of this oversight, and I'm not indicting the entire institution, but some of them, this is how they did their influence peddling. They start saying, oh, I have a son who just graduated from petroleum engineering. It's even better if your son is even fit. Some, their daughter studied the Igbo language or Yoruba language, or whatever. That has nothing to do with but you say, please, he has expressed interest to come and work in NLNG or in NNPC or in DPR. Will you say no space? So this is the trade-off that is robbing off of accountability.
Because I've seen some of them that play oversight functions, where in some of the ministry I covered and agencies. We see one of them, I don't want to call name, that was always going there every day.
And is that oversight?
There every day.
Is that oversight?
You know that she was at times she was demanding for lunch money from. So
and when they say lunch money,
if you cannot afford, it's a female.
Look, what came out of NDDC probe? The off your mic story.
That's why I'm asking. Will Nigeria just continue on this tragedy?
That is it. So people are very cynical and sarcastic about this whole probe thing. Stop this waste. Let's look at how to stop future waste. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing, they will set up committee 6 months, 1 year, nothing will come out of it.
I remember the power probe committee did.
Which one have we not probed?
Which
one have we not probed? What came out of it? What came out of it? So it's very. I think this is more like distracting the public and giving the impression that they are ready to work. When this whole appropriation was being made, was it not by National Assembly? Why was there no follow-up to say, okay, give us breakdown? You said you want 2 trillion or 5 trillion. Who are we paying? Can we have the list? Can we have the consumption? Can we have? No. All they do is behind the scenes, they start looking for contracts. They start looking for how to.
Oh, they could even non-drape and say, no, Buhari just want to get over. Hurry, they want to do it. No.
So the issue is, if they want to do it, we wish them best of luck. But I'm not convinced that this will yield any result, given the fact that because if you call Timipe Silva now, it will be like Ibekachuku that said, look, I'm just a minister of state. My principal is the one that was doing all the signings and giving all the approvals. So I believe what we can do now that will be most effective is to plug all these loopholes. What are we doing to prevent a reenactment of this kind of fraud? 9.3 trillion that could have built us brand new refinery. All the ones that we have borrowed, they borrowed $1.5 billion to fix Port Harcourt, $1.4 billion to fix Warri and Kaduna. None of it is completed as we speak. They are giving us end of the year. By end of the year, they may say first quarter of 2024. And that's how they will keep pushing. Because it's not in their interest. They want this thing back. They want it back. That's how we have been in this quagmire of paying fuel subsidy for over 30 years. It was introduced in 1991 or 1993. Whichever one, whether it's 91 or 93 under Babangida, it's 30 years. Even if we chose 1993, it's 30 years. And we have continually paid this. They have spent, according to the Guardian newspaper of 2 years ago, the Guardian said their investigation showed that over $25 billion have been spent on turnaround maintenance, and yet these refineries never produced. And that's why when Obasanjo sold off Port Harcourt and Kaduna to Blue Star Consortium led by Dangote, I was all for it. But Nigerian labor unions kicked against it and made Yar'Adua to return the money to Blue Star Consortium. This is where we have found ourselves. Look at this huge quantum.
But what is this? I read a report that says that the fuel subsidy is still subsists, that nothing like that. And here in Daily Sun, they said subsidy removal while we are yet to resume petrol imports, oil marketers. So where are they getting their fuel?
No, they claim that it's the one NNPC has imported. They said
okay, they buy from NNPC.
yes, that the one from NNPC. They said they have about 60 days storage, or is it 40 days storage, as at the time of May 29.
And why increase their...
Because to incur further debt on there will be no reimbursement if they import using the mechanism or template of cost recovery.
Okay.
The template of the fact that government will pay them subsidy. So if they are imported, thereafter,
that is when
you understand. So the one we are consuming has been the one they have in the tank, in the storage tanks in Apapa and Tinkan and all of that. But the whole thing is still shrouded in opacity.
Exactly.
It's still very shrouded in opacity. And I feel this renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu, people want to feel it. As we speak, none of us, citizen masses of this country, has received any palliatives.
No, but we still see a government that is so, just like what you say, is so lavish in lifestyle.
Look at the luxurious lifestyle. Look at the when Tinubu went to Lagos, and you have about 120 vehicles in his convoy.
The speaker having about 33 aides alone. Senator, the same thing.
Does that shock
Senate
you?
president, the same thing. And we've
Does
not really seen a reduction.
Is
It's what Obasanjo, the former president, also said yesterday, that lawmakers be appropriating money, their own salary, that is illegal.
It's rampant that is supposed to fix their wages and salaries, and they cannot be an independent.
But the last we heard from that one was even proposing an increase in their wage.
Yes, see, in truth, I mean, let's be fair, and I'm not being. I don't want to be seen as pontificating all the time. The truth is that if you go by what they genuinely have as take home, it's not outrageous. I don't know if you get me. Do you know that the governor, as of today, does not receive up to $1 million in salary? A governor of a state. A minister does not. I mean, Chris Ngige showed us his payslip. I think after 900 and something thousand. Okay. So, but what they eat or what they lavish, quote and unquote, is the influence peddling.
And other,
you understand? Because they control budget and other perks of office, this BTA, ESTA code. Yes. Then, of course, when you control budget, for instance, you are Minister of Power, Housing, Works and Housing. You award a contract of 50 billion to a particular company. You know what some of those companies does? They will just come to you, Mr. Minister. Do you have any plot of land anywhere in this country? If you show them that piece of land, they will do the architectural design, they will build you a home and hand you over the keys. So it's not the salary, it's not the ESTA code that makes people to just. That's what I wrote about in my column today. That now much ado about political appointments. Now everybody is jostling. People will induce. They will use intermediaries. People in the presidency will start saying, "Bring your CV," and but on top, put 5 million, put 20 million. I need to see SCP. I need to see this person, and that's where some middlemen are already at work. Trying to facilitate. Just bring your CV. I will see the party chair. I will see this SGF. I will see the wife of the president. I will see. Those are power brokers. And you will see people partying with millions of naira, all in the name of getting those appointments. You saw the APC party chair coming to meet Adamu on Monday, asking for ministerial stuff. So if you make all the APC party chairmen across 36 states, that means we should not look at any other place. And Adamu has to tell them that not everybody can be, even the National Working Committee, they are also looking at, they are also interested. How many ministerial slots?
And those on the PCC list.
Look at them. The PCC alone has over 3,000 names that worked with him for his victory on the PCC. So how do you then? And that's why the Guardian of Monday speculated that there are 42 ministerial lists that has been penciled out. And I asked in my column today, I said, okay, the Guardian, I want to believe you. You said they have scrapped the Minister of State position. If they have started, it says they have scrapped Minister of State position. It said there will be handshake across the Niger. That means it will not be only APC, that some people in PDP like Wike is also going to be considered. That's 2. 3, that the Minister of State has been scrapped. So if you now said that there will be 42 ministers, then no, wait. If you said 42, and I cited section 147 sub 3, which actually said that the president is at liberty to appoint, the word of the constitution is at least 1 ministers from every state who shall be indigenous of those states. So minimally, you can appoint 37, 36 states plus FCT. But now, from what the Guardian speculated, 42 is being penciled down. If you pencil down 42 for ministerial slot, and you said you have scrapped Minister of State, that means you are going to create additional ministries to be able to go around.
Yes.
So if we now have 42 ministries, ask yourself, is that not unwieldy?
It is.
It's not unwieldy.
I saw it,
So at the end of the day, we need to, and you are saying that there's no money. We are already having 77 trillion naira in debt and all of that. So how do you reconcile all this? Because if you now submit names of 42 and you appoint 42 and there's no Minister of State, it then means that you are going to, there will be Minister of Sport, Minister of Youth, Minister of Women Affairs, Minister of National Planning, Minister of Budget, Minister of which other one is on? There are 3: Budget, Finance. There will be Minister of Finance. There will be Minister of Budget. There will be Minister of National Planning. That's 3. Then there will be Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. There will be Minister of Social Development. There will be Minister of Disaster Management.
5 additional.
So at the end of the day, how many people can you give ministerial slots? In the midst of saying there is no money, and you want to reduce cost of government,
That's what
that you want to reduce cost of government.
Did yesterday.
So these are the realities.
Even the nation
These are the realities that we have to face. But the long and short of it is that it's so unfortunate that we are playing catch up. Monies will have been expended. Instead of asking the right question at that time, everybody keeps quiet. You are going behind to look for kick front, kick back.
Yes.
You are looking for influence, and how you can get so, because this thing also
and
is
at the time EFCC was also pursuing the case.
Winifred, let me also land on this point. There is also a nexus between this and campaign finance. Look at how much these people paid or spent on their elections.
Mm.
When
It's
some
true.
of them are
It's
governorship aspirants,
It's true.
they paid 50 million.
What about the presidential?
The presidential aspirant,
100
100 million. And there are close to 50 of them
Yes.
that bought form.
Yes.
Now, only one person has that post.
Yes.
Only few others were able to get into ministerial, like David Mai, like one or two others. Now, the rest of them, they are looking for ministerial appointments. How do you manage these expectations? And you know, like I said, it's not even the salaries and the emolument. It's not how much they get genuinely as, because if a minister receives less than 1 million, I can tell you for free, in my own civil society organization, even though I'm not a staff, I work for myself. There are people who are receiving as program manager, as in different capacity, who are receiving more than $1 million every month. You get, and they are not ministers, and you will not even know that they receive that much every month. So it's not the money, it's not that salary, it's the influence, it's those things they do behind the curtain, those things they do behind closed doors. That is the issue. But we went to see how all of this pans out. So let's go quickly to
so
the other.
The Guardian, two stories that we were talking about. The second one is the Guardian leading story. It's actually an exclusive story. Akpabio 13 senators to earn over 5.6 billion naira as governor's pension benefits. You see, it keeps going round.
Yeah.
And most of these governors are senators.
Now, let me say this. I want to comment Otumba Gbenga Daniels. Did you know, I saw a letter he wrote to the incumbent the incumbent governor that they should stop his pension that he receives as a former governor in Ogun State.
Okay, temporarily.
Yes, he said
he's now in
the Senate. So they should start. And the entire money is like 650,000. And he said in that letter, which I saw and read,
entire money is how much?
The 600 and something thousand pension that he receives. Okay. And he said in that communication that is the only money he receives from Ogun State government. You get. But what this story, front page of the Guardian is saying, is that these 14 people are now in the Senate. And some of them will be in the ministerial list. According to the Guardian of Monday, 5 former governors have been penciled down to be in the ministerial list. So these people who state government already provided for pension, life pension for, is it not illogical to have them still collecting this pension when they still get paid as ministers and as senators? Some of them are GSM. They are former governors, senators, ministers. Like Akpabio is a GSM. SGF, George Akume, is a GSM. Onwa Chris Ngige is a GSM. There is an exclusive club. They have been governor, they have been ministers.
Even Adamu
Aleo
has been governor,
has
been
governor,
minister of FCT,
and then the senator. So this is exclusive club. There are under 50 that are in that exclusive club. But the point is, why should there be life pension for these people?
We also expect our own president to do the same, because it's also on life pension from Lagos.
Exactly. It should also come out clean. Is he still getting, because our president is a billionaire by every standard. Just like my governor in Oyo State. My governor in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, declared how many billion? Is it 40 billion in 2019? When he came in 2019, about 40 billion or 40
just like
billion.
This
Samfara governor.
That also said he's a trillionaire.
Well, they said they denied it. But the issue for me is that we need to streamline this issue of pension. When does this start reason? Is it not better to just pay these people severance?
Yes.
And say, okay, you have served this state for 8 years. Get, even if it's 1 billion, you give them. That is it. So if you now become a minister tomorrow, or you become a senator tomorrow, you just be hanging on the. Not that, as look at the case of the service chiefs too. You remember it also raised eyebrow last week.
Exactly.
Where they said how many cars, how
so
many
much
aids and all of that
yes,
that they will be having. And
foreign treatment,
this is why you now see a lot of youth.
I didn't actually think important to read, but it's one of my boss that used to tell me that don't read it. But when you are reading all these things, it gets you provoked.
And you,
so save yourself that
it can lead you to health hazard because when you read this thing in the midst of people getting less than 30,000 minimum wage, even all those businesses that hire or hire sales girls, how many sales girls are receiving 30,000 naira minimum wage? And now pensioners who work for 35 years are not getting their pay as at when due. So is that right? Is this something that we want to encourage and we want to sanitize the system? We want people to be incorruptible? How can you be reading this kind of story and you will not even think that it's better you go and join politics and shoot your way, whatever you want to do, do it to get to those positions.
Why politics they do or die.
That is it. Look at this, 5.6 billion for 14 people. And now they are still going to be drawing salaries as senators.
Yes.
They are still going to be drawing salaries as ministers. They will not say because they are receiving pension, life pension from their state. Is it not better if it's 500 million you give them, pay them off severance because they are political? Because I know the public service rule, particularly around FANC law, allows for payment of severance to political office holder. So rather than putting them on life pension, just pay them severance. If it's 500 million, if it's 1 billion, let them spend that for the rest of their life. Because the argument that have been made, I've been in one of those trainings of lawmakers, state lawmakers, and I raised this issue. And one of the states that I won't mention that state said that why they passed this is to prevent a situation where their former governor will be wretched and go cap in hand seeking help to survive.
What state governors are known to do?
Does this
stealing the state line?
Well, let's not even go to their corruption cases. And I said to them that did they know that there is nobody who contested to be governor of a state that is not a millionaire at the very minimum. And more than half of them are billionaires. To even contest for governors, more than half of them are billionaires. So there is nobody that is hungry that will be a serious contender for the position of governor, unless in those fringe parties, apologies to them, those parties that are upcoming. That there you can even Winifred, you can be the governorship candidate in any of them. You understand? But for dominant parties, you want to be taken serious and you are just begging for food like me. You are saying, oh boy, I think get 20K there, and you want to be governor. Unless you have a godfather that is bankrolling you. So the issue is that it's about the law. Let's streamline our law, like I'm proposing here. Let's just pay them off. Scrap all these life pensions nonsense. Scrap everything called life pension. Give them severance package. They can receive, they will sign it off before they hand over. Let them go on with that. And then if they are lucky to be made minister, if they are lucky to become senator, it's good for them. You understand? Because even as a minister, as a minister, you are serving at the pleasure of the president. You can be removed after 2 months or after 6 months or after 1 year. It's as a senator, and even as a senator, you can be recalled. You know, although we know that one is free and fair, but it's possible to recall somebody. But let's just do something.
We need to do something right, and that's why.
As we wrap up, because I know our time is up, please, we are patiently and impatiently waiting for the palliatives. People are suffering. I am suffering. If you don't know, I'm heavily indebted. So, let nobody think that this guy is enjoying. No, I'm not a politician, and I'm appealing whatever palliatives, even if not for me, for those downtrodden masses, let's do something to avoid the revolution.
Thank you so much. I hope the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gets to hear that. Well, viewers, this is where we end today's program. Midweek show on Leadership Television Inside Nigeria. I hope to be back same time tomorrow, the same station. My name is Winnie Fagodobo. I'm from Jide Ujo. We say bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.